Hi there, good afternoon, and you're tuned into ET now, and this is Market Fatafat with me, Shriram Finance. Along with me, I have Vinny who will be joining us very shortly. But before we actually take you through all the stocks that are buzzing in trade, let's take a look at what the markets are doing at this point in time. And if you look at the markets, volatile trading moves coming in when you talk about the benchmark indices. As you can see it on your screen, Vinny, we have actually seen a sharp dip come about in the markets at around 11 o'clock or so. Then post that we saw a recovery, and the benchmark indices are actually sustaining with that recovery. But take a look at broader markets, because the pain over there is pretty crucial, or rather pretty painful rather, let me put it that way, because you have the mid-cap index falling for a second consecutive session. As you can see, it is near the day's lowest point. Look at small cap index, 2% downtick coming in for small cap index as well, almost trading near a month low or so when it comes to the broader markets. But take a look at BSE IPO index, because that one is actually being seeing a lot of pressure. 3% downtick on an intraday basis is what BSE IPO index actually logged in. It is actually fallen most since December as well. So BSE IPO index is something that we don't talk about much. But yeah, this one is actually seeing a lot of pressure. I remember yesterday, Vinny, when you had the commentary of the SEBI chairperson also come about, the BSE SME IPO index also fell. So after that, you've seen these this index actually seeing a lot of pressure. Take a look at the realty index, among the top sectoral loser in trade today. You have the PSU bank index also seeing a sharp knock. So yes, not a pretty picture when you look at the sectoral indices. Benchmarks are holding on to gains when if you look at it.
Absolutely, only benchmarks are managing to hold on to some bit of a gain, as well as, obviously Nifty slight but positive, and Nifty IT is where some green is there today on the screen is only from the IT pack. TCS, Infosys, even those mid-cap names, whether you look at Oracle Finance or even like a Coforge and Birlasoft, managing to hold on to gains in the IT pack. So yes, only green is coming in from the IT today, but that's how the market setup is looking like. Let's actually get started with all these other individual movers in trade on the back of news flows and on the back of technicals as well. And on the technicals, we have Osho Krishan joining with us, while from the research team today we have Snehi as well as Ankita joining in with us. A very good afternoon to all three of you all as well. Good afternoon to you as well, Shriram.
Good afternoon.
And let me get started with the first stock that we should talk about today. Mid-cap name, mid-cap, small-cap name that I'm going to start with, but what a move that we've seen. And this is Zari Industries that we're talking about. Okay. The stock has seen an up move today, intraday up move of almost 10%. The last time I checked as well is what it was moving at. As of now, given up those gains, but market has also given up. The mid-cap, small-cap index also gave up. But Zari Industries is the one we are keeping an eye out on. Now, obviously, we did have a presentation that came in from the management when you talk about it. So, in terms of the presentation, there are key highlights that actually came in for the company. They said that in terms of guidance, that to deleverage through the asset monetization, focus on their high growth areas, and arms include sugar, power, financial services, EPC services, as well as real estate is what they'll be focusing on as well. Other than that, versus other players, when you look at it as well, seems like overall there is a slight bit of a value still compared to the other companies that are there in the similar peers as well. And that is why we did see that commentary finally came in after very long from Zari Industries, and that is what is keeping the stock abuzz today, Shriram.
All right, Zari Agro Industries, sorry, I beg your pardon, that's the one that is actually holding on to some sort of green on the screen. And like Vinny also mentioned, like the broader markets are falling, that's why this one also has eased. Look at KNR Construction, flashes on the bottom of your screen. The company has bagged order worth about 1,160 odd crore rupees, but you can see that the stock is not making much of a move at this point in time, yet struggling to recover from the
Absolutely, and normally when you see these stocks, whenever there's an order win or anything, you see them spiking up, but today the dullness in the market is twinning. You're literally twinning with the color on the screen right now. But yeah, that's what all these companies are doing. Nothing exciting in the mid-cap.
Nothing exciting in the mid-cap space. But let's talk about macro tech developers. Nothing exciting happening in that particular counter as well in today's trading session, because the stock actually saw a block deal take place earlier this morning. 0.4% of equity changed hands. We don't have the details about the buyers and the sellers in this particular block deal. But post that block deal, as you can see it on your screen, the stock has actually given up all of its opening gains, and now it is near the day's lowest point. 3.6% downtick for macro tech.
Okay, that is macro tech developers, keeping an eye out on that one as well. The realty pack, like you were highlighting before, also not doing anything exciting. Let's move on. Osho, your first stock for today is Shriram Finance. In terms of technicals and charts, Osho, Shriram Finance, where do you see it? Today, yes, a bit of a subduedness, but overall, when you look at the charts for the last 6 months, where do you see it now headed after this 6-month move that we've seen?
Very good afternoon, everyone. On the technical front, Shriram Finance has been struggling near the zone of 2500, 2480 to 2500 on the higher levels. As I'll be saying about the past 5 to 6 trading weeks, there has been strong volatility, but on the higher end, it is having a very stiff resistance. But the positive development is that it is forming a ascending triangle pattern on the daily time frame, and any time that stock witnesses a breakout above the zone of 2500 on the higher end, then we can witness a strong traction coming in, and on the higher end one can expect a target of 2620 on immediate basis. So one should definitely keep an eye on this counter any day, because as we are very much near to the resistance zone, so any day coming 1 to 2 trading days, there can be a strong breakout that can be seen in Shriram Finance.
So that's the take coming in on Shriram Finance. Let's stay with that space itself. And Snehi, let's talk about AB Capital and why this one is in news today.
Well, absolutely, Cheryl. This stock is holding on smartly despite, the other stocks in the market not doing quite well today. Aditya Birla Capital has announced the amalgamation of Aditya Birla Finance Limited, which is the wholly owned subsidiary of the company, with itself. Now, the rationale behind this is a simplified structure, better access to capital, operational synergies, enhanced value creation, reduction of legal and regulatory compliances, and also, most importantly, ensuring that the ongoing compliance with the scale-based regulations that have been applicable to NBFCs as notified by the RBI, that is met. Now, the merged entity would be engaged in two businesses, the lending businesses, which is the NBFC base of the erstwhile AB Capital, and the housing finance business through its 100% subsidiary, and also various non-lending financial services and ancillary businesses directly and indirectly through subsidiaries and associates. Post-merger, now the shares of AB Finance and AB Capital will stand cancelled. No consideration for the amalgamation will happen. No change in shareholding pattern for AB Capital as well. So on the back of this merger news flow that is coming between AB Capital and Aditya Birla Finance, the stock is up almost 3% as we speak.
Okay, surely keeping an eye out on AB Capital today on the back of that news flow as well. Let's move on and talk about Bharti Airtel on the charts then. And Osho, Bharti Airtel is like one of those players that is only there in the telecom space other than Reliance, which you can play currently. So Bharti Airtel on the charts, what's the view that you have for Bharti Airtel in terms of the up move that one could expect? Could we expect an up move now, or what is the chart indicating?
Overall, the technical parameters are very much in the favor of a bullish trend in Bharti Airtel, because if I'll be talking about the recent developments in the counter is in the cycle of higher highs, higher lows, and the 50-day exponential moving average acts as a very strong support zone in Bharti Airtel. So as of now, we have witnessed a very recent breakout approximately around the zone of 1180, and the counter is hovering near the 1200 psychological zone. But as of technical parameters, there can be some kind of consolidation within a range of 1160 to 1220 on immediate basis, but that will cool off the technical parameters, which has moved towards the overbought territory. And then from there onwards, from short to medium term perspective, we can see a resumption in the higher trend or the continuation of the uptrend in this counter. So 1160 should be acting as the support zone. 1220 is the first resistance, breaching which another 40 points of movement can be seen in this counter.
All right, moving on then, let's talk about Jupiter Wagons, Ankita. And why is this one in focus today? Is it order win?
Yes, it is an order win, but look at the stock. I mean, it is down 6%, succumbing to the market selling pressure. However, the stock had opened up 2.5% higher on the back of the order win. But let me take you through the details as well. Jupiter Wagons, the Railway Ministry has placed an order for the manufacturing and supply of 2,237 BOSM wagons. These wagons are designed to efficiently transport bulk goods such as coal and ore within the Indian Railway network. Now, this initiative is expected to contribute to smoother trade and foster economic growth in the region. The contract is worth 957 crore rupees. What the management had to say about it is that they eagerly anticipate playing a pivotal role in the realization of government's visionary goals, leveraging their expertise and resources to contribute meaningfully to the advancement of India's railway infrastructure. So that's the word coming in by the management. Currently trading with the knock of 6%, totally mirroring the market. The stock was up 2.5% in the morning.
Okay, let's move on and move on to an ET Now exclusive now. What we learned from highly reliable sources that PMO has asked all the ministers start work on first 100 days agenda for the next term. What are likely to be some of the key focus areas for Modi 3.0? We're joined by Prakash Priyadarshi, who's joining in with us to give us more details on that. Prakash, take it away. What is Modi 3.0 agenda that is coming in there?
Yes, we are learning from our sources that domestic manufacturing and expanding PLI scheme could be priorities of the new government. We are given to understand that asset monetization and agri-export likely to be in the list of priorities. Along with that, proposals related to direct tax reforms could be focus area of the new government. Sources are informing that ministries have started working on first 100 days agenda of the government that includes short-term and long-term strategy. When it comes to long-term strategy, that will cover new ideas that will help India becoming developed country by the year 2047. We are given to understand that ministries have started working on new ideas after PM's instruction to the Council of Ministers. Sources are also informing that the ministries will submit new ideas and the list of priorities after new government sworn in. Along with that, good governance and process simplification could be center of the policy making.
All right, thank you so much for that, Prakash, for getting us those exclusive details with the Modi government gearing up for a likely third term, already asking ministries to work towards it. But on that note, we'll slip into a break on this edition of Market Fatafat. When we come back, more stocks to discuss. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat on ET Now, and let's continue the journey of taking through all the stocks that are moving in trade. And also coming to you, Interglobe Aviation, or Indigo as we all know it. This particular counter has been in focus on back of that stake sale reports. You had the stake sale also take place, the block deal yesterday. Rakesh Gangal actually pairing stake in the entity. The stock, however, over the last 6 months has seen a good ride. Do you see this ride continuing further for Indigo? Will it continue to fly high?
See, there has been definitely a breakout that can be seen in this counter from the zone of 3200 odd levels, and we are expecting that a follow-up buying can be seen in the coming period. So on the higher end, we are not very much aggressive on the target, but expecting 3360, 3380 to get tested on a follow-up basis. Overall trend is very much bullish. So for short to medium term perspective, from investment point of view, definitely this counter looks very promising. But for short-term perspective, 3380 is the target that one can expect within coming 1 to 2 trading days.
Okay, keeping an eye out on those levels for Interglobe Aviation. Let's move on, talk about ITC, because in the last couple of days we've seen ITC see a bit of fall. Now, why is that so? What we had heard according to agencies and reports had suggested that BAT had spoken about this before, that they'll be parting some bit of their stake in ITC. They said in one of the meetings as well, which they had, that they would be selling 4% stake. Now, today we did have a clarification that came in from BAT themselves. There's a release that came out from BAT saying that yes, they have confirmed they will be evaluating the possibility of a disposal of the small part of stake. So overall, they hold 29% stake. They're planning to sell around 4% stake, so they would still hold majority around 25% of their stake in ITC. But BAT shareholding, the paring of the stake is going to be through by means of on-market block deal that will be happening. Yes, what reports suggested this morning that maybe it could be as early as this week. That was not something that they still spoke on, but keeping an eye out on ITC on the back of that as well. We're seeing some bit of a pressure that has been on ITC in the last couple of days. Today also down almost 1.5% as well.
All right, and that is ITC for you, still under pressure. Let's talk about Paisalo Digital, and that particular counter is in focus, and in fact it is seeing immense pressure in today's trading session. Vinny, actually you had reports coming in from wire agencies, which is Informis, where they've said that the High Court has actually given a notice to RBI to probe Paisalo Digital's unfair lending practices. After that, you can see the stock actually took a nosedive. As you can see it on your screen, sharp crack coming in, not able to make any sort of a recovery. And the only reason why you're seeing a tad bit of recovery is because Paisalo Digital came up with a clarification just about 30 minutes ago or so, where they're saying that they've confirmed that there is no order directing any regulator to investigate any unfair lending practices by High Court, that is New Delhi High Court. Also, they are saying that they've initiated various legal actions against borrower and its office bearers, including registering FIR. This is the clarification that actually came about coming in from Paisa on that particular development. But we have to wait and see. The stock is not making any headway.
Absolutely, but let's move on and talk about Bata, because that's not made any move in a very long time. 6 months, and we've just seen 15-16% decline that has come in last 1 year also. Osho, when you're looking at it, not much of a return that's come in from Bata. What's the view now coming in for this footwear company? What is it? Could we expect some bit of a positive up move now for Bata?
If I have to tell about the historical patterns, then even this counter has seen some kind of support around the zone of 1400 approx levels in the year 2023 also, and then again the counter has witnessing some kind of consolidation at the same levels. So from here onwards we can expect some kind of revival on the stock prices. Approximately on the higher end, I am expecting 1540 to 1550 should be seen on an immediate basis, and once it surpasses above that, then there can be a strong reversal that can be seen. While on the downside, the support is very nearby. 1400, 1390 is the support zone. So definitely from risk reward point of view, this counter looks very promising from a buyer's point of view.
All right, that is the view coming in on Bata. But Snehi, let's talk about Sterling and Wilson, and why is this stock in focus today?
Well, Cheryl, now we have reports that are citing that Shapurji Palunji and Company, which is SPCPL, which is the holding firm of the billionaire Palunji family, is likely considering selling its stake in Sterling and Wilson Renewable Energy. Now, SPCPL may sell as much as 14% stake for approximately 1800 crore rupees in a bid to meet its financial obligations by the end of this month. Now, additionally, there are plans to manage another 20,000 crore debt currently held within the Goswami Infratech, which is a promoter entity. These reports also mentioned that the non-convertible debentures had been raised at a high rate of 18% interest per annum, and the group is considering ways to decrease its interest burden. So on the back of this stake sale news that we are just sourcing from reports, this stock is down in lower circuit as we speak, 5% lockdown as we speak.
Okay, that's Sterling and Wilson locked in lower circuit. Surely keeping an eye out on that one. But on that note, let's just slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back and we'll be continuing with the stock journey after the break.